Welcome back, class, to another live stream of Animation Collab. Whoop, whoop. This is where I experiment with new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. If you haven't caught any of the previous live stream on this series, I am currently collaborating with Andy of the Detect Defend. I always forget the 3 words. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a cybersecurity expert and creates cybersecurity videos. And I think it's Attack, Detect, Defend. I think that's it. Either way, the link to his YouTube channel is below in the description. And I'm helping him with an animated version of his one of his cybersecurity videos, because usually they are more on the side of screen capture. So we've gotten our heads together and came up with a cool little design, and you can watch all of the replays of the past live stream on this video production on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue animating one of the scenes of the video. And I think we need to add a few more details to the scene we animated on the last animation collab, and then we're gonna jump into the next scene and animate that. Yeah. And if you are new to this channel, if you have been around for a while but haven't seen my latest uploads, I am now regularly uploading short tutorial clips on various things, like how to use the preview shortcuts in After Effects, how to replay a video playback faster in Premiere Pro. That one isn't out yet, but it's coming very soon. And things like the stages of becoming a pro illustrator. All of that and much more you can find on my YouTube channel and can look forward to every Saturday and Sunday. The shorts will be coming out on the Saturday, which is a 1-minute kind of summarized recap of each of those tutorials, and the full-length extended tutorial, which right now around 3 minutes long, will be coming out on Sunday, so you can look forward to those. And now we're going to jump into After Effects. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing, about my techniques, about After Effects, do just drop them in the chat. I'm super happy to answer any of those questions, because this is why we're here, to learn together. And I see that Zach was the first one here. Welcome, Zach. And yeah, so this is the scene that we were working on last time. So let's have another look at that. I think I was pretty much happy with it. I don't know if there's some discrepancies that I wanted to resolve, but I'm pretty sure I was happy with that one. That's gonna take too long to render. I'll see if I can do my quick render with my Shift spacebar, which is one of my preview shortcut presets. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can head to my YouTube channel to find that out in my preview shortcuts tutorial. I won't turn on the audio just yet because it's still doing the monster sounds when it can't render the audio yet. You might be able to pick it up a little bit since my headphones are now closer to the microphone. So, we are almost through. Okay, let's turn on the desktop audio.
Objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed Attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome resources for the cybersecurity industry, including the CVE and CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities.
Okay, that's almost there. There's something here that I don't like. I don't like how this line comes up with... I think it could come up with like the second one or something. I don't know. Let's watch that back. I don't like how it's bouncing. Maybe I need to change the bounce. I don't know. Something's up here that I'm not super happy with. And I think the way I've done it is that the line arrives when this is starting, or something like that. And I think I want this to be an easy ease. And we can't see anything because it's black. What is the ease on this? So this is all easy ease. Let's add easy ease to these, and let's see. This is 20 frames. Okay, that's 20 frames as well. Oh, sorry, just wanted to adjust my windows. Hi, Mr. M. Yeah, just started. Just checking the scene that we animated on the last animation collab. Just making sure that this line animates the way I'd like it to. There's... Yeah, I think I wanted to pause at this point. No, a little later. Maybe something like that. Let's look at that at regular speed. I don't know, it's just so strange because I want the circle to close, but it looks a little odd. So they arrive, they like join the line, the circle line, and the next object join just as it's like finishing with the pop-up, basically. So I think that's what I want to achieve. So more like this. Maybe it can go directly, I don't know. Maybe this just needs to be shorter. Maybe that's the issue, I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe this is better. I think the distance between the folders, the documents coming up is also a little much. And maybe the bounce isn't... Well, bounce should be right. Maybe we'll go down to 0.5. Let's sequence them by... I don't know by what they're sequenced right now. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, 10. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's better. That's a little less staggered. I know that doesn't leave us a lot of space later on, but I think it's still better. Nope. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I remember what we needed to adjust. It was the circuit board that needed a little bit of adjusting because some of these didn't animate in the right way. I know you can't really see it that much, and maybe it's okay. But like, see, these ones, some of these just grow from the the wrong direction. But maybe we can just leave it that way. I think this is something that I would probably want to come back to if it really bothers me. Right now, my first instinct is fix it. But actually, I shouldn't, because in a regular client environment, you would do a quick pass of an animation or blocking or an animatic. So these are all terms for doing a rough pass of the animation. Then you would hand that over to the client so that they can have an idea of where the animation is going, and so they can give early feedback, because before you invested a lot of work in the animation. Then with that feedback, you would make adjustments, you would clean up the animation, and you would add the detail. Right now, I'm not following that structure because Andy isn't strictly a client. Yes, we kind of have a somewhat designer-client relationship because I am making it for him, but because it's not a commercial project, we're just doing it for fun for both of our YouTube channels. It's not a strictly client relationship, so I am inclined to just go in and do all of the details that I want to do, because it's also just for me, for fun, for you, to learn something from it. So, but if I was to do this for a client, I would not go in and fix this detail, and I would just move on to the next thing that I needed to do to get that rough pass of the entire animation, and then I would go in and clean that up and make adjustments to it and refine the details. So that's how I would go about animating the first pass before adding details to it. So in that sense, I'm going to close that so that my perfectionist self isn't going to get carried away with it. I'm going to save, even though I don't know if I already saved or I just didn't change anything since the last time I saved. Okay, so this thing is this long. And then, oh yes, that's what we needed. Okay, and now we need an animation off. And I need to figure out how to do that. So for the framework, I could just animate these back. I could do that. Yeah, why not? Let's start with the server. So this is the out animation. Let's give this a marker here. And in order to get this composition marker window out, you hit Alt and the star or multiply symbol on your numeric keypad. So if you have an extended keyboard with a numerical pad on the side, you have divided, minus, plus, and multiply, which is a little star symbol. So you can hit that together with Alt to get this comment window out, write your comment that will then appear on the marker, and to close out that window you can hit the enter on that numpad as well. Hey Tom, thanks for joining. So I did have a look, sorry about that, touching my tongue there. I did have a look at how to do instant replays or like save little clips in OBS. And yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation. I think I've set it up correctly now, so I can just export. So I've set up a replay buffer on OBS, and I can just hit a shortcut to export a little clip of the last 5 minutes, which should always be long enough. But there are two downsides to that. Sorry, this is a tangent, has nothing to do with the project. It's something we talked about on the last stream, if you're lost of what I'm talking about right now. The two problems with the replay buffer in OBS are as such. I don't get any feedback on if it has saved the file. I just hit my shortcut and hope that it saved the file, but I get no like blink or a highlight or anything. I get no feedback from OBS that it actually has saved that file. So that's concerning. And second of all, it automatically saves it at my recording file format, which is MKV or MVK, I always forget. And that file format is not recognized by any Adobe software. So if I want to use that clip, I have to go the extra step and reconvert it, or, you know, render it out into an MP4 format. Because if I'm recording my streams, I can save them and it automatically remuxes it to an MP4, which means I can immediately use that stream for something else. I don't have to go through the re-exporting process. But with the replays, I can't do that. It doesn't do the remux, which adds an additional step, which is why I'm not sure it's actually worth doing that. Tom, you did share a few other methods, which I didn't look into. So maybe there's an option to just look into that doing that in a different way. But so far, the replay buffer is not the ideal method. So let's see if I can find a better way to do that. Anyway, that's on the subject of how am I going to save little clips of whenever I say something interesting that I want to turn into a tutorial. Okay, so let's start with the server stack. So this is the out animation. So let's put that out here as well. Yeah, it does defeat the purpose a little bit. If I couldn't find how to do that, but if the replay automatically could remux to MP4, then that would be perfect. It would be absolutely excellent, because then I can use those clips specifically and not go through my hour-plus long stream to find the little clip that I want to use for my YouTube tutorial edits. But so far, it's not ideal. I also read that, oh yeah, so there's another thing that I came across through this, reading up on it, is that Streamlabs OBS has the option to, what is it called? I forget what the term is, but it basically allows you to record two separate files, or, well, to stream with overlays, but record whatever you're recording in your OBS without overlays, so that that theoretically I could then use for an edit without having like this frame and like my lower third when I'm talking at the beginning of the stream and stuff like that. But I'm using OBS Studio because that's fully free. That's an open source software, whereas Streamlabs is like a premium subscription, basic versus premium subscription kind of a software. So I stopped using that one. So that's a downside with OBS Studio, that I cannot do that, which that would also be kind of cool. All right. How's the weather where you all are? Because it's been super hot the past few days, but it got very, very cloudy, stormy, and dark, which is why I have the light on today. And wow, I mean, it got so dark in just the last hour or something. And yeah, it was fine before. So I need to figure out, I don't remember how I animated this. I seem to only have the scale. Oh yeah, okay, I do remember. Okay, so now it's super dark, super weird in the middle of summer. For it to be this dark, it's 6:30. It's 6:30 where I am in the evening. Okay, let's go 10 frames forward, and then I'll... Also, something I didn't do, which if you are using inertial bounce or you're scaling your artwork past 100%, which inertial bounce will do if you scale something up to 100% and then put the inertial bounce expression on it, because it will overshoot and then go back to the keyframe that you set as your final keyframe. If you do that with linked Illustrator files, then you should turn on the continuously rasterize icon, because with the inertial bounce it's not so extreme, but if you are scaling past the 100% on your layer, it will blur it. But if you turn it on, it will continuously rasterize, which means it will always keep the Illustrator files or layers sharp, because they're vector, they can be unlimited size, but you need to actually do that. It will use a little bit more RAM, I guess, or maybe it'll be heavy on your graphics card. I'm not entirely sure what it will affect, but it might slow you down a little bit, so I would only do that when it's necessary, when you know that you're going to be scaling past 100%. And but yeah, do be aware that you need to do that if you want to have sharp graphics. Okay, so I don't know why I pasted that, because now I need to adjust, add a new keyframe, but I guess I can right click on the label group and select label group, and then I can just put them all to 0, and then with Control and click I'll make a linear keyframe out of that. But of course I want to sequence this, and I want this one to go first. So I'm going to 10 keyframes. No, that's too much. 5 keyframes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it needs to finish on the out. And as that is happening, this spine needs to scale back, and I'm copy pasting it, then right clicking, then going all the way to keyframe assistant, and then time reverse keyframes. I know you can't see that, that's why I'm describing it to you. And then so the only downside is hang on, Going to finish it here, I think. The only downside of the inertial bounce being on layers, when it bounces to 0, it also does an overshoot. So at that point, you need to cut your layers. And I always cut my layers when they are no longer visible somewhere in the timeline. So that one's not visible, so I'm gonna not cut the layer. I guess it's crop or trim the layer. That's the word. Oh yeah, Tom, you're in Arizona. You never have winters. I thought it at least gets a little bit colder at some point. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, thanks, Pandy Toast. Apparently I have a powerful voice. I would attribute it to my mic and also that I'm speaking loudly because I have my noise-cancelling headphones on, but thanks anyway. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so I like that. That looks perfect to me. And even if it's not perfect, we gotta move on. So, yeah, let's get out of here. And we also need to animate this line out. So instead of using the end, I'm going to animate it back now. So I'm going to find my trim paths. Sometimes I click too fast and then I open things and click things that I don't want to click. So I'm going to start my trim path here. Let's go with Easy Ease, which is F9. And then let's end it here. So it's going to animate out until there. We're going to have to check the timing, but for now that works. And as soon as it hits here, we can start with attack. Oh, right. We replaced that with... What did we replace it with? This one. Okay, so the framework is actually... The framework is this. This is no longer here. This will be a guide layer. And I'll add it to the none, the gray label group, and put it all the way to the bottom. And that means I can now use the second I have a expression in here which allows me to call like in and out animation. So now I will call the out animation for this one, which means it will play from this keyframe to that keyframe. It will play the out animation, and that also means that I can crop or trim this layer at this point. Oh, why is this so huge? I will turn off the modes, then we have a little bit more breathing room here. And then it should just animate back, but it's not doing that. Wow, that's super slow. Okay, that needs to happen much faster, and I can do that by editing the keyframes. Although I don't want to actually... Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2 needs to finish much faster. Yeah, that was fast. Oh, I see, yeah, because it's actually the... It starts a little bit earlier, later, because it has the whole framework that you can't see in this portion. It's animating the whole framework, so we're actually starting a little later. And it finishes here. So you can crop that too. And that's exactly 10 frames, and I think that's fine like that. Whoa, that's really fast. Okay, maybe we'll make it a little longer. Oh, where's the animation? I have to let go of the marker for the animation to take effect. Okay. Okay, that's where it ends. That's now 20 frames, so... Oh, that's taking way too long. Okay, I'm gonna have to play with the speed of that. Wow, sounds like Arizona is a killer in the summer. I mean, I love the summer. I really love the heat. It can be 40 degrees Celsius is probably too hot for me, but around 30 or even 35, I can get with it. That's my jam. But summers all year round, I don't know about that. I do like seasons. Okay, this needs to get going a little faster. So this actually needs to... Oops, no, I moved it. Ah, no. This can start animating off earlier, but as it... Oh, what happened here? Oh, right, okay. This needs to get cut off. Yep, that's excellent. And then... Whew, something I could do with the resources, instead of playing that back, I can give this a time remapping marker, and I can check where all of the animations have finished. And I can go back here and I can right click, update markers from source. I can put some keyframes here and I can just reverse those keyframes to play this entire scene back. And with the time remapping, I can also shrink the distance between the two keyframes and play it back faster. I think that's easier than playing this, reversing all of the keyframes inside. The reason I did that for the server is because I want the off animation to be slightly different than just a playback of this. But since the lines and the dots are just kind of popping, I mean, I guess I could have done the same thing, but I want to do this one this way and the other one the other way, so and I guess this needs to start a little earlier, like probably here. And probably finish around there. Don't know if that looks any good. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, okay. So obviously it needs to be cut off at that point because then it starts playing back into the start. Okay, so... Oh, no, wrong one. This one. Alright, that... I didn't trim my work area, so it didn't start repeating that, but that was pretty good. So this one goes, that one goes, oh, this one goes a little early, I think. Also, I think it's a little high. I think I can put this a little lower. I think this... maybe it just needs to be a little later so that the line is already past that point. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then I want to do this one by hand because I want it to like bounce up before it goes down, so it has a bit of liveliness, this. I'm time reversing this, and then I'm going 10 up. And the down is much faster. So it looks more like that. Alright, let's see what that looks like. We're slightly past the the end marker on that, so I'll just push this back. And I'll crop this layer, save, playback. I have not tried speculative preview yet. I've seen it floating around as like the new hot thing, but I have not tried that yet. Oh, that's a little odd looking. Whoa, why does that just disappear? Oops. What? What? This is supposed to go to 0. What are you doing? Okay, maybe a little less staggered. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yep. And it's popping back up for some reason, is it? Nope, okay. Alright, and that's the out. Is it? Yes. So that's the end of that. Oh, the text also needs to disappear, so yeah, I guess I can just play back the text animation. Enable time remapping. Actually, there's another thing I can do with the text that I haven't done so far. I can make this into a... into like a... It is a template comp, but I haven't added like the in and out animation. Oh yeah, but then I have the issue with the padding. Okay, that's the reason I haven't done that. Okay. Let's... Alright, I will just do the time remapping. I think I will keep going back to this idea multiple times. Oh, actually, this should have got changed a while back. And this is supposed to actually disappear, so I'm going to reverse. And at the same time, this is supposed to move up. And it's supposed to be this one, I think. Oh, why is that not... the framework isn't parented to it. Okay, there we go. And this is going to be like that. Yay! And then everything's in the center, but I need to remove... Well, I don't need to remove the other keyframe, actually. I can just cut this off here. Alright, now we've got the off animation of this layer, this scene, really. But that, all that can actually happen as he's talking. We can give this a little bit of room. And as this is animating away, the next thing needs to happen. Let's save that. And the next thing that needs to happen, let's have a look at the storyboard. So, after this goes away, this comes back. So it's essentially this scene again. And then we go through the different stages that, well, until this stage. Now there's probably a question of if I should bring the little guy pointing at it again, or if I want to create a like an essential graphic, like a template switch to turn that guy off. But we can decide that later. We can also get Andy's input if he would like that to be removed or not. So I think right about here, this should be scene 3. Oh, but this is scene 3. Oh no. Oh, so I've counted that as part of the same scene. So my scene numbering doesn't work now. So this is supposed to be scene 2. Oh, it's supposed to be this part of the same scene actually, but now I've changed my mind and it's not part of the same scene. So what I'm going to do is I'll name this 2.1. So this is where the naming comes in that I sometimes mention. If you haven't heard me talk about my naming, I always name my scenes 1, 2, 3. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, I name them 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0. And the first 0 is just your regular 0, 1 until 0, 9, and then you reach 10, 11, 12, so that it can arrange itself alphabetically or numerically in that case. and the 11 and the 10s and 11s don't follow immediately after the 1 and before the 2, but it's 1 to 9 first, and then it's 10 to 20 second. The 0 in the back is for this exact purpose, where I've decided I'm gonna split the scene, and I already have a file with that scene number. Well, actually, that's the question. If I don't have a file with that scene number yet, there's no reason for me to rename this scene. Let's have a look. I don't actually have a file with that scene number yet, so I can just decide, you know what, this is going to be a different scene number now. So let's undo this naming. This is going to be scene this. And instead of this being or this and this being the same scene, this is now scene 2, this is scene 3, and this is now scene 4. So I just need to either keep that in mind or go back into my storyboard and rename those scenes. I can do that either way. Okay, so now I need scene 4, which is the attack framework again. So I'm just going to duplicate this one. And then I can just change the where's the beginning? Here. I can just change the, what am I trying to say? The expression that holds which part of this framework sequence is being played. So, I'll delete all markers. I'll just bring back B and N. I don't know where the end is yet, but that's okay. So first we're going to have this same thing here. And then we're gonna go through it until this point. Yeah. I have to think about how I'm going to animate this, but that's a problem for a later time. So we've got, now I need to time this to the audio. So let's bring in the audio. Where am I? Here. You know what? I'm going to line this up with this because then I know where the audio is going to be. Oh. Right. Okay. Why is this taking so long to animate in? That's strange. Oh. That's strange. Doesn't take that long to animate in. Something's wrong here. I think I added an ease here and I'm going to change that to linear. Oops, that's already got its brackets. Okay. Okay. And let's close these comps. Yep, so this like slight overlap is exactly what I'm looking for. So we're not waiting for too long for the next scene. Okay, so this is scene 4 now. So actually we can line this up. So that way... Yeah. Okay. So... let's take a look at the attack framework, and then each individual item is an offensive cyber technique. So we can shorten this pause here. So that means, we also need to make this shorter or animate faster. And then remove that. I think this is the second thing. Oh, nothing's happening. Oh, I see. Excellent. Okay. Then after that, each individual item is a cyber technique. Then they're grouped into columns. Why is this so far apart? Oh, okay. Yeah, I set this up for, like, exporting it for some other reason. Alright. No, that's not what I want. Yay, I'm so glad I already set this up. Start 3, start 2. No, what am I starting here? No, I'm starting 3. So this should be, I don't know why I have 2 versions of this one. So now I need the 4th one. Yep, got it. Then I need the 5th, and I think the timing might have to change. And I'll adjust that in just a second. No, wait. Isn't this already 5? I guess not. Alright, let's see. I'm losing track. There's so many markers here. Oh my god. Okay, then the next one is the grouped into columns, the tactics, type of effect that the techniques aim to achieve. Okay, then there's a super long break, which we can cut out. Why aren't you scrolling? No. Okay, my After Effects is slightly overwhelmed. And then we have this one until no single item here makes up an entire attack. great. Makes up an entire hack, and that should be right there. Wait, but this is the end of 4, so this should actually be gone, and this should start 5 right here. And then the little guy comes in, which we still need to decide if we want that dude to be there or not. And that happens until Andy says, as an attacker moves from system to system. Okay, I think I actually cut this break out. Come on. And that should mark the end of that. It's possible that I need to cut out some more of these. Actually, what I can do is I think I have the audio in here. So I can actually take the audio. Okay, I've cut this into a bunch of little pieces, so I can bring that in here. And also I need to make sure that I mark all of these audio clips as, well, yeah, they need to be guide layers because I don't want them to render double. And then, so from 5 onwards, which should be here. Okay. So there's some overlapping happening here, so I probably need to either cut out more space somewhere else, or yeah, probably here. Cool. And I can also take the audio out of this and move it in the right location. Why are these the other way? Ugh. Okay. And then at the end of that, it needs to do this. We still haven't animated that yet. Or I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So that should be ready now. That takes us all the way to here. Which also now means that I need to take this audio out. Hopefully it's exactly as I need it. And I will plaster this in here. It's obviously now in the wrong spot, but that's okay. I can just drag it to the beginning of this. I'll mute this because I'll need the sequences after that. Or I can just crop this at this point. Let's see where this finishes. I think this is the end right here. So I can start the new block right there. But I actually don't want this to go this way. I want it to go that way. Great. And now we should have that piece ready because we prepped that animation at the very beginning. Remember that time that we were setting up and animating that template? Well, now I can just use it anytime I need it and I don't have to animate every single scene again. Okay, so let's watch that transition. It's gonna do that. The monster sound. I'll just turn off the... Oh no! The desktop was off. The desktop sound was off, but I don't think you needed it. I don't think I was playing anything back. So I'll take this off for a minute so I don't have to listen to the monster render audio sound. Yeah. So, what's new with you? Have you used the speculative preview in the After Effects beta yet? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay of this live stream. I have not. I've spent most of my time playing around with the Premiere Pro transcribe capture beta. That's really fun, but I'm always a little bit skeptical about updating my After Effects because the first few days, if not weeks, there's always some bugs, and then if you have a deadline, you're screwed. So I try to stay away from updating right at the beginning of a new update, but that's a beta. I guess it's not the same as an update. How's Andy doing? Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, maybe we should do a little catch-up sometime to see what he thinks of the video. He's working on his cybersecurity videos and other cybersecurity videos that he has going on. I think he launched something recently. And, ooh, I just saw something that might have gone wrong in this animation. Let's figure it out later. But yeah, he's doing well. He's working on those videos. He also has a full-time job, so the YouTube stuff is kind of on the side. So I think he's trying to make that work whenever he has some free time. But he's quite busy with both, I think. But yeah, we can do a catch-up. We also had an idea of doing like a creative, or let's say cybersecurity for creatives, because as motion designers, illustrators, graphic designers, we tend to have a lot of profiles and passwords all over the place, all over the internet. And, you know, there is a point to be made of not using the same password, not using the same login information, or maybe not having your real name on the internet, like me. Don't be like me. But yeah, I mean, I'm a freelance motion designer, so it's very hard for me to be on the internet as a business person and then have an alias for my other online presences. I think it's very hard to kind of keep that separate when you are a freelance designer, because you have to be on the internet. You have to use your real name if you want to get business. So it's a bit tricky, but I think he has some good thoughts, really useful thoughts for creatives on the internet and how you can protect your privacy and be secure on the internet. So if you're interested in that, we were thinking of doing kind of like a Q&A where he's the cybersecurity expert. I would ask him some questions from my designer perspective of the do's and don'ts of being a designer with an online presence, and you can chime in as well. We can have the chat going and we can do like an open Q&A if that's something that you're interested in. Let me know in the chat or in the comments and I will set that up for you. Okay, we're almost finished rendering. Alright, here we go. It's getting to the end of the work area.
That framework.
Oh, it's still doing that. It's still doing the weird robo voice.
Vulnerabilities. Let's take a look at the attack framework.
Each individual item is an effective
cyber technique, They're grouped into columns, the tactics, broadly aligned to the type of effect that the techniques aim to achieve. Note that hacking into a system is not a one-step process. No single item here makes up an entire hack. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system, bring vulnerabilities.
There we have our little animated character. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. For now, we're not through with the animation, but for these two scenes, and actually let's try and pre-render the whole two scenes. Let's see if that's even gonna work. Let's see if that's gonna work.
Objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed Attack, and has a bunch of other awesome resources for this.
Wait, I think the timing there doesn't quite work.
Objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed Attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome resources for the cybersecurity industry, including the CVE and CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities. Let's take a look at the attack framework. Each individual item is an offensive cyber technique. They're grouped into columns, the tactics, broadly aligned to the type of effect that techniques aim to achieve. Note that hacking into a system is not a one-step process. No single item here makes up an entire hack.
I don't know why I didn't
Rather,
full screen that.
Oh
no!
Use a combination of these.
Oh, I remember why. Because then it has to re-render the whole thing.
Objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed it.
Okay, let's try and watch that on the big screen. It's gonna have to render again, I think.
MITRE is the organization which developed Attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome resources.
Yeah, I can't quite handle that, but I really like how this is animating in.
Including the CVE and CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities. Let's take a look at the attack framework. Each individual
Can't quite handle that, huh? Oh god, I can't handle that. Okay, I'll turn off the desktop audio until it's finished rendering, and I will answer this question by Mr. M. Do you ever get bored in the middle of a project? You were excited at first, but not anymore, but you still have to finish it. It can happen, yeah, for sure. If projects tend to run for a long time, or if I have to do just that one project and I'm not doing multiple parallel projects, sometimes I have the opportunity to do multiple projects at the same time if the deadline is very far away, or I have to mix and match responsibilities. It's easier to kind of not get bored. So if you do have a tendency to get bored with a project, if you're only doing that one project, maybe try and include other creative tasks that might keep you entertained while you're doing that one project. But yeah, it happens. Sometimes a project seems exciting and then it's not as exciting as you thought, or it's taking longer than you thought and it's taken the excitement out of it, or maybe it's just this happened to me in the past where you get so used to doing your animation workflow and you work with the same client for a while and they want the same type of videos over and over, so that it's a kind of a click and drag process where you keep doing the same steps and it's not really a creative process anymore. You're just kind of putting your hours in. That can happen, and yeah, that can bring you down. That brought me down, and in those times, it's just important to find something to bring the spark back. And what I like to do is maybe add some additional flavor to the character animation, or to something that maybe didn't need it, but just for your own excitement to stay engaged with the project, just add a little sprinkle. And it's definitely something, if it is a client project, that your client would appreciate, you know, seeing something extra cool in their animation. So that's what I try to do. Tom is saying, the moment money gets attached to it, my stupid brain thinks it isn't fun anymore. Yeah, it is. There's some truth to that. That's, yeah. When I'm doing like a fun project for myself, it's like, yeah, I'm just doing it for fun, whatever. But luckily, I didn't have too many of those client projects where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, because I've had some really cool clients and I was really excited to work for them. Like Hugendubel, which is a German bookshop franchise, and Fritz Cola, which is a huge soft drink company here in Germany. And those were some of my favorite clients. It was just so fun to work within their branding and bringing their static graphics to life. So, you know, even though they are paid clients and there's always like this, oh no, it must be a certain way because it's a paid client, I really had fun with those. So I can sympathize with that mindset, but luckily I haven't had it too often because I really like the clients that I worked with. Okay, it's ready to render. To watch.
Of other awesome resources for the cybersecurity industry, including the CVE and CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities. Let's take a look at the attack framework. Each individual item is an offensive cyber technique. They're grouped into columns, the tactics,
I think we could have a few more columns
that the techniques aim to
coming
achieve.
in.
Note that hacking into a system is not a one-step process. No single item here makes up an entire hack. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system objectives. MITRE is the organization
I'm very
which
happy
developed
with
attack,
this.
as well as a bunch of other
I also
awesome
like
resources for the cybersecurity industry.
Let me pause this. Okay, stop. Okay, save. Yeah, I think that turned out pretty nicely. There's something weird happening when the diagram, the framework animates in. There's like the keyframes seem really hard. They don't seem to be eased at all. I have a suspicion it has something to do with the expression. That's why I had the ease in the linear expression instead of linear, because there's something not right about it. So I need to figure out what's wrong with that and fix that. But that's one of the things that would come sometime down the line. I also noticed like some mistakes with the character where like the hand is slightly sliding where it should actually be staying still. I also don't like how his arms are coming down as he's falling. I think it should be like a straight up, just arms up as he's falling. Like, these are some of the details that I picked up while watching this back. But overall, I think it's at a really good point. I'm just scrubbing through the timeline now to see some of the other scenes that we've had so far. There's one scene when there's nothing happening. Is that really what's supposed to be happening? I think the text is missing on that scene. I really like the way the text is coming in and out. Maybe the scene with the framework is coming in just slightly too early, where we don't quite have enough time for the previous scene to disappear, but I don't know if that actually bothers me because they are like overlapping and the framework is coming in like a presentation, not like a blackboard, like projector screen. That's the thing I was looking for. You know, like a projector screen that you would project something onto, like a statistic of this type of this sort. So I guess it doesn't matter if the previous scene is fully animated away before this one kind of drops in. It's really about how overlapping is the audio, like how much time is there, like what's the pacing? Is the pacing good in the audio? Then I think the animation just needs to adapt to that. That's the most important part. But generally speaking, yeah, I think we're in a really good spot. Thanks, Tom. Tom is saying that the character using the wand looks great. Icons animating upward, like documents and emails look polished already. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Like, the overall look is exactly what I wanted to go for. The easing and the popping up of things, and with a little bit of added bounce to give it this liveliness is already coming through. I mean, you know, I have a certain style, so obviously when I'm going through the first pass of the animation, I'm already implementing that style. So the final animation is not going to be it's not going to look dramatically different to what you're seeing now. It's just that those finer details that I'd like to tweak at the very end of this project. But right now, as I said before, with client projects, I need to remind myself to move on. When I do see those finer details, it's not the time to fix them. Because especially in a client project, the client might come back to you and say, oh, I don't like the look of that scene at all. Can we remove that? And if you've invested all of that time to tweak those finer details, all of that time is wasted. So do consider which fine perfectionist details you want to add to your animation or to your rough draft of your animation before the feedback phases are complete. So do take that into account. Yeah, and that is it for today. We will continue animating this until it's finished, which is going to take still a little bit of time. I'm just clicking through the animation just to see how much time that will approximately take. I don't have any audio levels. How's that possible? Oh, right. The audio that I imported was guide layers. I need to unguide layer that. So that means... Oh, there is a missing portion apparently. Hello? That's so strange. Yeah, when I'm going to my main, I have like a missing audio portion. That's weird. Okay, need to fix that at some point, but not now. So basically, right now we are sitting at 7 minutes 30 seconds for this video. So we have a good more to go. We are right now, our animation stands at 1 minute 20 seconds. So there is still a good 6 seconds still to be animated. So it's going to be quite a few more live streams before this is finished. Although we do need to consider there's quite a few scenes where we have this repeated framework animation that's already animated. So I just need to place it in the animation. So, you know, who knows? We'll see how long that takes. Bye, Mr. M. Thanks for joining. Oh, my necklace. I know. I put it on specifically. Ha ha ha. You shall come to the next live stream. Yeah, so This Friday, we're going to continue editing some YouTube tutorials. So if you want to know how I edit videos, how I extract clips out of live streams and make tutorials out of that, do join me on Friday for work watching and we'll do that. I also have a few things that I'd like to upgrade in my workflow, in my tutorial editing workflow. Today, I upgraded one of the graphics that I'm using. And I want to make the end screen a motion graphics template instead of just an exported video, so I can like change the text anytime I want to without having to export the end card every time I make changes. I want to... I don't know what else. Oh yeah, I was also thinking about changing this thing down here. Where is it? Here, this thing, this lower third here. Oh my god, my video is not mirrored, so I get a little bit confused when I'm looking at my screen. So this lower third, it was like the first idea I had to make this type of lower third, but as you can see, or rather not see, I don't know which way I should be pointing. This is not very legible. So I want to change that. I want to change some of the stream graphics, the overlays. So those are a few things that you can look forward to during my work watching live stream. So if you're interested in that, do join me on Friday. We will be streaming at 6 p.m. CEST, which is Central European Summertime. And this collaboration, the animation collab, will continue next Tuesday. And don't forget about the tutorials that are coming out. They are launching on the weekend, so check back on my YouTube channel to watch those. Until then, I will see you next time. Bye!